Hi everybody, this is Geoff Laughton. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday here on the Living Your Spirit fan page. The theme for questions this week was around parenting and the balance between how to deal with your roles as parents and with your relationship. And we didn't get any questions sent this time. So I'm just going to offer a few minutes of some thoughts that I hope will be useful and that I think are really important. And to some people, at least from what I've heard from some folks that I've said this to, my outlook on it is probably a little bit unusual, maybe even old school. But for those of you who don't know, I have 2 kids and a couple of grandkids. And so I'm going to be sharing these thoughts both from my role as a couples coach and also as a parent. And the thing that I want to offer to any of you that might be struggling with this, whether you have kids or maybe you're thinking about having kids, is that one of the best ways that I think there is to navigate the balance is to really remember that the number one priority, in my opinion anyway, the number one priority has to be first your relationship with yourself, and that you're well. And so that includes a lot of self-care, wellness kinds of things that you do to take care of yourself. But then the secondary priority is your relationship with your partner. Children are much happier when they have parents that are stable and solid and that they can rely on. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect, doesn't mean you can't make mistakes. It just means that even though in the moment they might go, well, I want your attention, I want, give me, what I need. If you and your partner are in good shape with each other, that gives particularly younger children a completely different, stable foundation to then go and do what they need to do to discover more about themselves and what works for them and what doesn't. So, it's kind of like what you hear on the airlines. If there's a loss of cabin pressure, put the oxygen mask on you before you put it on your kid. There's a good reason for that. You're no good to your kid if you're unconscious and the plane's going down. So, I think it's a really apt metaphor for a way to be in your relationship as well. So I would invite you to look at how much has your child's schedule, because I also have an opinion that children are ridiculously overscheduled these days compared to when I was a kid. And I can see that it's not wearing well on a lot of kids. So I'd invite you to look and see how much of the way you schedule your children is a way of trying to meet some agenda that you have for them that might not be connected to them, isn't serving what you and your partner need to be well and to be the most available, well-balanced parents for your kids that you can be, and how much of it is wish fulfillment left over from anything incomplete or unresolved from your own past. Look at your children as who they are and what works for them. And be careful that you don't allow feeding the schedule and the ambitions or your beliefs about how much they have to pack in to be able to get into a good college, even though they're only 5 right now. I really invite you to take a look at that, if that's at all going on for you. And to give yourself time to be able to have with your partner alone. I see a lot of families, a lot of parents where they're doing everything for their kids first, and then if they have time, they fit in some time for each other, for sex, for dating, just for fun, connecting. And that ends up getting second or third place behind work and the kids. And I just don't think that ends up turning out very well for most people. At least that's what I find with the people that I end up working with. So, there's a tip for you. Thank you for tuning in. For next Wednesday, if you want to submit a question, again, you can do it anonymously if you don't want to have your name attached to it, then email me at laughtoncoach, LAUGHTONCOACH @gmail.com. And if you don't mind having your name attached, and you have a question for next week, the theme for which, by the way, I'm taking questions on how can I fight or argue or disagree with my partner in a healthy, conscious way. So if you've been having issues with conflict and you and your partner are, having at each other more frequently than you would care to, then I invite you to submit a question about how you can handle that, and the more specific you can be about the situation, the better. And so if you want to submit that and don't mind it being public, then put it right here on the fan page. And I really would love to hear your comments. Those of you that are watching these videos would love to know, are they of service? Are they valuable to you? Any suggestions or feedback you have about how to make it more useful, or how I can, keep improving the page overall. Please, I'm really doing this for you, and because I want to be able to give you great resources that you'll find helpful in navigating the challenges of staying open and in your heart, particularly with your relationships. So I'm open to any kind of feedback that you have that's constructive. So if you have that, you can put it on the wall, and if you want it to be private, again, email me at laughtoncoach@gmail.com. And if you're digging the page, you're digging what I'm doing here, please tell your friends about it, invite them to like the page, because the more people that can be on the road to healthier relationships, that means we have a healthier world for our kids and our grandkids, and that's really a lot of what it's about for me. So, thank you for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend coming up. And thank you for being a fan here on the fan page. And go out and have a great, loving week.